Not bad for a weekend.
Yeah.
So, cheers, and I'll tell you why we're drinking in just a second. You got your Windex there?
Yeah, I got my Windex, bud.
Guys, this is too fucking funny. There was a court motion filed yesterday in Candy, Ojai County. And the court motion was to throw out things in the Rekieta case, namely the search warrant.
Yeah.
And they had to list reasons why the search warrant should go bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what one of the reasons they gave for why the search warrant should go bye-bye?
Why is that?
Because of me.
Because of you?
Yeah. They put me in the papers. And they put the show in the papers.
Nice.
And you know what else they put in the papers?
What?
The title of the fucking episode. Do you know what the title of the episode they were quoting was called?
Tell me.
A More Perfect Reich. So in Nick Rekieta's defense court filings, 4 times no less, they wrote A More Perfect Reich, which will be on my epitaph. It will be, I will take that one to the grave with me. That, Nick, no matter what happens with this whole thing, buddy, I want you to remember how I made you do that.
What a fucking clown.
And we'll show you some of these quotes. They're very funny. They were quoting me and the things I said in text to Nick and also on the show.
Yep.
What they're trying to say is I
Sounds
have
like
personal
Aaron might
animus
be
towards
going to
Nick
jail.
Rekieta.
Okay.
And thus what I said about him and what I experienced at his house and everything else should be thrown out. And I'm like, he's like, the detective didn't put all the other shit talking I did after that information into the warrant. And it's like, Nikki, sweetheart, the detective doesn't put me talking a bunch of shit. He's looking for he's looking for a search warrant. So he just puts the things that are pertinent to the search warrant.
Right.
He doesn't put in there, Imholt said they did cocaine. He said exactly where it was, and it turns out it was where he said it was. But also, he also said Nick's a big, fat, stupid meanie head. He's a dummy piece of shit. He's fucking half retarded. Like, the judge would look at that and go, why is all this other psychobabble from this retarded streaming
not
guy?
relevant.
Why is this mildly overweight retard's ramblings
Evening, Presley.
bogging down
Good
my court?
evening. Thanks for stopping in.
We just need the drug shit. So that's like he would object to the pastor and be like, yeah, but they didn't put his whole sermon in there.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this shit about, loaves and fishes didn't really matter to the coke and bitches. Like, those two things don't. So Nana's Clam says that's today's victory. No, not a victory. It's just really funny.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed that. So we'll read some of that to you. And then also in those same papers.
You're welcome, dear.
Nicholas is trying to have whatever April said to the police when she was arrested thrown out of his case, but not thrown out of her case.
Wait, what?
So we'll get to this. I'm going to tease all of this stuff, then we'll dive in. April, apparently, what I'm led to believe in these papers, my darling April, my sweetheart, had a little bit of good left in her. She had a little bit of the good side of the Force left in her. She wasn't a full Sith yet. She was still a Jedi. And apparently got scared and sang like a fucking canary to the police when they brought her to the station. They said that Byron Hadley cried like a baby when they put him in that squad car. So Nick is claiming that, she had the right to remain silent. She asked for a lawyer and they kept talking to her.
Yeah.
And so whatever she says, you can't use. Well, here's the problem. You have the right to remain silent.
Yes.
But in order to do that, you know what you have to do?
Shut the fuck up.
You have to shut the fuck up. It's not like you go, I have a right to remain silent. And the cops can't be like, can I get you a cup of coffee? How you doing today? Your day going well? My kid had their graduation. You know what you do when they do that?
Don't say a fucking word.
You shut the fuck up, sweetheart. So apparently my sweet girl had a little bit of a Luke Skywalker left in her. And she apparently must have really damaged that old Rekieta case because they are trying to shut that the fuck down. They're saying she asked for a lawyer. This stuff doesn't count. Now, the problem is she can ask for a lawyer. Yep. They just can't ask her any more things about the case after that. So if she asks for a lawyer, but she still starts fucking blabbing, that's still okay. That's still all right.
On you, Aaron.
So I will say this, that that's very interesting to me. The stuff about me will always be interesting to me.
Oh, of course.
And there are two other items that we'll get to. Kayla got her own attorney finally, and now got her case moved back.
Mm-hmm.
And the Riquedas are selling one of their homes. The home that, as we see in the pictures in a little bit here, April is living in.
Wow.
Interesting.
Didn't really look like anyone was living in there.
Well, I mean,
You know.
that shower needed some work. That shower looked like someone who bleeds orange was murdered in it.
A little bit of iron in the water out there.
Yeah, a little irony water out there. So we have that. We have the house for sale. And we'll theorize on all that. We'll gossip like a couple of fucking girls. Of course we will. And we'll try to hit our goal today. That's what we'll do. Oh, and we'll talk a lot about the news. We got Trump and Tic Tacs. We got JD Vance and semen cups.
What?
Yeah, we got all kinds of fun shit. Oh, hell yeah. I got a good one for you today.
All right.
I promise. Oh, and then some football players trying to pay off that, the lady who stole all the chicken wings from the school?
Yeah.
Yeah, some NFL player wants to pay it off for her. Because theft is fucking cool, bro. Trying to steal some chicky wingies for my kids. I need a football player.
Steal $1 million worth of chicken wings for her fucking kids.
You don't think so?
No.
Maybe her kids
selling
really
that
like
shit.
chicken
She's
wings.
selling that
You think
shit.
so?
Yes.
Son of a bitch. Bootleg chicken wings. What's this world coming to? Well, anyway, guys, 230 is the number. So let's hammer that out. Let's get this. Let's get this taken care of. Funeral director with $2 just writes, Canoe is a dude. Canoe is a dude, just like he did this morning. Adam Simon with $1. Thank you, Adam. Ozone says, you're getting booked. Yes, almost like I said that. Soft Weekly with $2 says, the toe is drunk and feeling it. I'm not drunk. This is my first sip of Big Wave. I'm in a good mood tonight. People can't understand this because I think a lot of people run from their problems, run from their issues. I'm excited to do this tomorrow. I'm excited to get this all taken care of, hammer it all out, and move
Aaron's going to jail.
Because, like I said, relationships and things like that have never been better, and off we go. And then there were other people like trying to get some shit started on that whole thing.
Yeah.
And all they did was call somebody, and that somebody said, no, everything's fine with us. We're good.
Oh.
Okay, cool. So I don't know if their little own tried to backfire or not, but I'm sorry, it didn't go anywhere. I apologize for that. I know you don't like when I brag, so I'm going to keep it down a little bit. Buffalo Jockey with $2 says, I feel bad for whatever defense attorney inherits Kayla's Fleabag case. What a disaster. I mean, really, the whole thing is a fucking disaster. I mean, it's like none of this is like, wow, they're in good shape.
No.
Aaron's not in good shape.
Scooby Jooby Jew says, did you get my PayPal from this morning? Yes, I did. We put it towards today. And also, it seems as though he doesn't want me to wear my nice, shiny shirt.
Oh.
If I go to Nashville this year to watch the Vikings. I'm not allowed to wear my shiny shirt.
Why?
Fucking well, I mean, in his defense, it's incredibly gay. Incredibly gay. Anonymous says, I heard you're buying the Baldo bunker. I am not.
Oh, well.
I am not buying the Baldo bunker. I was supposed to. Look, man, we'll get into all that. I feel like I'm stalling. You want to have a few laughs tonight?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to have a few laughs. You want to laugh at Nick's expense?
Of course.
You want to have a couple laughs at April's expense?
When do you come into this?
You're going to have a couple laughs at my expense.
All right.
They quote me in this, but look, man, I
know.
SP sent it to me. And I was like, how does it make me look? She goes, it makes you look fucking hilarious. She goes, you look really funny in this. You're just shitting on them. And and they had to put that all in writing. It's like, yeah, some people got no sense of
What's going on, Dela?
Funeral director with $2 says, guy in black looks extra lean, spruce, and masculine.
Okay.
Hey,
we're going to forgive you this time, brother.
You. 220, by the way, is the number now. Thank you, guys. But look, these nickel and dimes add up. Those are always fun. Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats, Venmo. So let's
the Catalanos are the only ones that don't have to sleep. Remember that.
Fucking excited. This is going to be very difficult to read.
Yeah.
Because I had to there's no plus minus a little. It's either way zoomed out or way zoomed in.
Mm-hmm.
So this is in the Nick Rekieta filing to have the search warrant thrown out and other items thrown out, including whatever April said to the cops. So it starts, here's where my part starts.
Yeah.
They want this search warrant thrown out in part because I'm a bag of shit who has an axe to grind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
I can be a bag of shit with an axe to grind. I can also be telling the truth about everything I said.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't just get search warrants by people who don't hate the other person.
Right.
You don't get search warrants just from people who like the person. And there isn't a litmus test where I have to think, oh, he's a swell guy. By the way, here's where you'll find the coke that we were all doing. You know, that's not how it works. So there's nothing wrong with what Nick's doing here.
Mm-hmm.
He's throwing up a Hail Mary. Everybody who fights their case does this.
Okay.
They try to have the warrant thrown out because if you can get the warrant thrown out, your whole case is good. You're done.
Yep.
You're finished. Because everything's the fruit of the poison tree. So you're good. So he's going to try to get the warrant thrown out. Why the fuck not? I'd do that.
Yeah.
I'd come up with every bullshit reason to throw out the warrant. And may I say, Nick does a good job of coming up with every bullshit reason that he thinks this warrant should be thrown out. So I was reading Kiwi Farms today, and some people were like, this piece of shit, he never tells the fucking truth. Well, if he told the truth, he'd plead guilty already, and he'd be doing his probation. He's got to lie. He's got to obfuscate because he still wants to fight this thing and get it thrown out.
Obviously, he's not lived a day of life.
If you can muddy the waters enough to make a judge throw it out.
Does he even have an attorney?
It's low risk. It's high reward.
You would think if he did, they would be telling him, shut the fuck up.
Why my part of this search warrant should be thrown out. Now, mind you, the mistake Nick is making is that even without
to jump
me,
out in front of everything and it's fucking him.
Yeah. Nick's stream where he had cocaine all over his nose and blabbling like a fucking asshole. That was enough for a search warrant mixed with what the pastor said and everything else.
Yep.
I was icing on the cake. Now, Nick also tries to fight.
He is going to jail then, Dale.
Saying that, well, it's a copy, so it could be edited.
It's not
going the authentic one because I deleted that one.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you'd have to have the biggest boomer judge on earth to have that even come close to working. So, applicant, that's the detective. The applicant is the detective. Nick is the defendant. Detective asserted that defendant and Imholt, quote, may have recently had a falling out. I could make a lot of fucking each other's wives jokes at this point, but none of them would make me look good. And you know what? By God, I'm trying to look classy here. I'm trying to be a legal analyst. I'm going to be like legal mindset. I'm going to break all these things down.
Just don't be like
Bailey.
Oh, look at that bag. Oh, shit, I fumbled. Okay. So, applicant asserted that defendant and Imholt, there's nothing. Okay, yeah, there's nothing bad here. I can put this up. Applicant asserted that defendant and Imholt may have recently had a falling out. This is an intentional misrepresentation by the applicant. Now, first of all, the detective doesn't fucking know, Nick. He wasn't smelling our dicks. Like whether or not we had a falling out or and by the way, I don't know what else to call it. I would call it a falling out. Right?
You guys
I'd call it a lover's quarrel.
Yeah, like Nick's trying to paint this as like we were boyfriends.
The polycule split.
Yeah. And we had a breakup. Like he's like Mr. Imholt. Because remember, he asserts that nothing sexual ever happened. Everyone was just friends, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
But he treats this thing like it was a fucking breakup. Like he's going to be throwing a sob story in here. Like, it's more than a falling out, okay? It's some real hard feelings were exchanged. In the May 22nd, 2024 video blog by
we already
Imholt,
saw that this morning, didn't we, Jayla?
Imholt makes clear that his relationship with defendant had degraded far beyond a mere falling out. So Nick had said, peace. I said, peace, brother. That's what he said on a stream. That I was responding to his stream. I said, peace, brother. That's what Nick said about me. Imholt states at 104.32, peace, brother is not what Nick told me. When I said I would not be hanging out with them anymore, the text I got was something about a flabby, misshapen, doughy piece of shit I am, and the world would be a better place if I killed myself. And that is what the text says. He focuses a lot on my body, you know, like a boyfriend would.
Yeah.
Imholt, starting at 106.27, then states that he communicated to Nick, quote, okay, addict, and then Imholt blocked the defendant's number. This whole thing makes me look very funny.
How does this help Nick? How does he think this helps him? Before all this shit was public, okay, addict. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Why in a case where you are accused of doing drugs that you claim you don't do, would you include a text from someone that calls you an addict?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Applicant omitted from his affidavit that Imholt had made several threats ranging from thinly veiled to full-throated against defendant.
Oh, really?
Wow, I'm a thinly veiled and a full-throated kind of a guy. Imholt stated, starting at 102:44, Nick, sweetie, baby, first of all, get help. There's nothing more demeaning than calling another man sweetie and baby. And sweetheart and pumpkin. It's just so demeaning.
Aaron does that often.
You're treating them like
that's Mount
document.
This is what I love. This is immortalized in the annals of Candy, Ojai County forever. Imholt
you did anal too?
That's why he's so mad.
Oh.
Imholt stated, Nick, sweetie baby, first of all, get help. Second of all, you better hope. And I said this last night. You better pray to God I don't say what I want. If I said what I want, motherfucker, that's Mount Vesuvius. Let's make a quick rule for Nicky boy here. You keep my name out of your fucking... Okay, so we got to go to the next page for keep my name out of your fucking mouth, but I want you guys to look at what they had to cite.
Evening tax.
They had to cite the Steel Toe Morning Show episode from 5/22/24, the title of which is A More Perfect Reich. That's going to be in court documents forever. A More Perfect Reich. So I wrote, so then it says, keep your name out my fucking mouth in ways like that, and I can promise I'll be as good a boy as I can be. Now, the reason they didn't put this in the search warrant is because it wasn't relevant to what they were searching for.
No.
I'll be as good a boy. Imholt then proceeded, and tell me this doesn't sound like me. Imholt then proceeded at 103:31 to compare himself to Lefty Rosenthal, popularly analogized as Ace Rothstein from the film Casino, and stated, you want to keep a guy like that happy, right? Because he could blow your shit up, right? Imholt made this comparison and similar threats at multiple points during the video. Applicant, that's the detective, misrepresented both the extent of the falling out between Imholt and defendant and Imholt's overt personal animus, bringing his statements well outside of the realm of those of a concerned citizen. Now, here's the deal.
Yeah.
I was responding to what Nick had said about me in the Coke stream.
Yeah.
What they leave out of this is that Nick was a babbling dunce about me on the Coke stream. So I decided that I would, correct the record a little bit. Applicant stated that on 5/22/24, Imholt did a video blog where he talked about Nicholas and insinuated controlled substance use, and also referenced a video blog that Nicholas put online, that's the Coke stream, that has since been taken off the internet. Imholt clearly states, starting at 55:26 in the blog, referencing Alyssa clips. So Alyssa, honey, you're in there as well. So this woman who clips a bunch of shit from my show, from Nick's show, DM'd me this. It was Nick telling a disjointed, drunken story on his stream. Here's the clip that got me riled up. Why did you put this in here? The accompanying clip that Imholt plays in the video blog is 1 minute and 11 seconds long. Applicant states that defendant's video blog is 4 hours and 4 minutes long. Applicant, therefore, knew that the video presented by Imholt in his video blog is an altered rendition of Rekieta's video and cannot be authenticated. Now, here's where Nick's problem is.
Where's that?
The detective has the full video. The detective had the full video from, I believe, and I could be wrong here, from when it was up on Rumble.
Oh.
He was using the clip that I played just to get my story, to get what I was saying, to assert the controlled substance use and everything else.
No,
so
thank you.
Nick's conflating two things there that don't necessarily go together.
Right.
But again, this is a Hail Mary move to try and get this thing thrown out. I get it. I understand. That's the end of my part of this. And again, they have to reference A More Perfect Reich 4 times. Now, okay, so that's it for me. And then there's the part about April But I think I can tell you guys about that one because that one's not very long. Oh, I do. You know what? I do have that one in a text.
Oh,
I do have that one. Somebody sent it to me in a text message.
Woo, thank goodness.
Matt seems like he's in a less bitchy mood tonight, one person writes. That's nice.
Sure. Okay.
I get down on myself every day. It's a mental illness, I think, but I'm so glad I don't make the decisions that you make. Oh, thank you. It's very kind of you. I did get a text about the April stuff.
Okay.
Here it is.
Was that bitchy? What did I bitch about?
You're fine. They're just giving you shit.
Screamed about something. I remember that now.
Okay, so I mean, before we move on to the April stuff, I guess the part that includes me, I just find
he is a tard
and funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think it's like, again, it's a harmless little. Anonymous says those footnotes dead. The fact that they had to put a more perfect Reich in the footnotes is great. Triple N says cuckoldry has been immortalized. Yes, that will never go away, ever. And you said it in the first couple sentences. Nick, why are you doing this? This guy called you an addict.
Hard.
Numerous times.
Yeah. Hard.
Makes no sense.
Find a better way to go about it, my son. So that was, I don't have anything like concrete legalese to give you on that. I just thought it was really funny that they got me quoting movies in there. They got, okay, addict, and then blocked the defendant. That was a pretty good move.
No, he sure ain't.
Nana's Clam says, usually it makes the person saying sweetie honey look like a real bitch, but somehow Aaron pulls it off.
No, I'm glad I'm lucky I missed that.
And demeaning about it, that it does come off as really hurtful.
Yeah.
Citizen M says, I didn't make the court docs. Sorry, buddy. Apologize. Numero uno Josh Denny fan. Oh, sorry. I thought that was about what we were talking about. Nick's attorney is unnecessarily antagonistic to the detective. Very gay behavior. Seems like Nick wrote it. It does seem to be in Nick's writing. And no, Anonymous, I don't think PPP and Andy made it into the court documents, but I just thought it was funny. I don't think my part plays a big part in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether I'm dead or alive for this whole thing, I think they've got their case, in my opinion. I just thought it was funny to be mentioned in court documents and have my show quoted and then footnoted as a more perfect Reich. I don't think anything could have been better.
But again, the quotes are all things that aren't going to go in his favor. I don't understand it.
He's trying to get the warrant tossed. So if he has to look like dog shit and get the warrant tossed, it's worth it. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
McBuster says Nick is a fucking mess and a total Nepo kid narcissist. Well, right so far. How much is he paying April to wash his Baldo and clean their house every week? Well, let's get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Before we do, Ozone says, what face are you going to make for the mugshot? I'll probably smile. If they let me smile, I'm going to smile. I'll have my suit on. I'll look nice.
Ozone,
going in there to face the music, and I'll wear a suit. Soft Weekly says, Matt, you should recycle your girlfriend. She's gross. That's not very nice, Soft.
Wow.
Soft, I'm gonna have
see a picture of your girlfriend.
Soft, I don't
compare.
I don't want to insult you, Soft, because I like you. I have a soft spot for you because I don't think you know better. And I don't want to say anything mean, but I also don't want to take up a lot of time thinking of a good insult. Soft, you are a remarkably unfortunate looking human being.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Soft.
And you do not need to be making these kind of statements about
Aaron ain't lying though.
Because it's completely
Soft ain't a real handsome feller.
And there but for the grace of God go you, my friend, in the looks department. Funeral director with $2 says Toe and Nick should both plead guilty. Shows integrity. I am. That's what I'm doing tomorrow.
Haven't you done all of that?
Yeah. I already signed my statement.
You've literally spewed everything and been like, this is what I did. This is what I'm guilty of.
Yeah, I'm done with my part.
Taste
Fairy becoming a baby boot. Thank you. Funeral director with another $2 says, will you switch up
very much
if case somehow gets dropped? Toe. Well, my name is not Toe. But will I switch up? I don't know what that means. If the case gets dropped.
Go back to the polycule?
No. Is that what you're asking? No, sirree, Bob.
Switch up.
No, sirree, Bob.
Like switching your take?
Yeah.
Gonna stop. I don't.
Dr. Rondo says the quotes do put you in a very good light. I'm very happy with the way I'm portrayed in these documents. I'm just a nasty, ruthless vato, eh?
What a tard. I mean, come on.
Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, I'm a few minutes behind, but I dig the Mount Vesuvius reference. Nick has had a reality split. He is now his own attorney, Tyler Durden style. Oh, shit. Buffalo Jockey with $1 says, tomorrow's court isn't about you selling Asian hookers. No, it's not. Ananalas says, thank goodness you didn't buy the sister wives home. April should be fired for how that shower looks. All right, let's get into the April stuff. Then we'll get into the house.
Yeah.
We're 2:15 away from tonight's goal. You guys are in a good spot. Hit that PayPal, hit that Streamlabs. Contribute money to the show. We appreciate it. Triple N says, I am Nick's total lack of surprise. So April appears in this document as well. And I'm sorry that I only have this on my phone. From do I give my source out of the SP sent it to me? So she sent this to me, and this is apparently a problem big enough that Nick felt he needed to put this in this motion to eliminate, to dismiss certain things. And this would be April's statements to officers after her arrest. This is interesting.
Very.
Because we were led to believe that all three of the polycule, that the thruple, they rounded up together. They got each other's backs, formed ourselves into squares in a battle like a battle of Waterloo. They were down. They were fighting. Yeah. And they didn't give them shit. They treated those cops like mushrooms.
But he's getting off into other. He's going off on
contraire, mon frère.
Shit that Nick
it seems
and
like
him had
things
signed
may
an
have gone a little
and now he's
fucky
fixing to tell
in April world. And look, my darling, sweet April is allowed. She is forgiven blabbing in such a stressful situation. I can't imagine how bad that was. You get arrested, you're guilty. She's a liar, but she's a more honest person than Nick. She's not a full-blown narcissist. She's a survivalist. She's a self-protectionist.
Gotcha.
She knows when she's done wrong. She knows when she's done bad things. Admitting it is difficult for her. But deep down, she does, and she has guilt, and she has those feelings. Nick doesn't have those things. In many ways, April and Nick are similar, but in some ways, they diverge. And in this case, I think April was scared. I think she knew she had done wrong. And to the average person, this would seem like the end of the line, would it not?
I would sure think so.
So
spill
your fucking guts. What do you got? Well, remember, now this is interesting to think about. Remember when April left, they dropped her charges and let her go.
Yeah.
The only way they would drop the charges on her is if she contributed something of value. You notice I went from suspect to a witness. No longer a suspect. April had no charges.
Yep.
Well, she had charges.
Yeah.
Then she had no charges. Then all of a sudden, she doesn't leave the Baldo compound. She doesn't leave Casa de Requeta.
Straight up.
They go to the tattoo convention. Boom. 5th-degree felony charge slapped on her. Kind of like, hey, we gave you a fucking chance.
Yeah.
Sorry. But the fact that those charges got dropped right away, even though there was coke on her credit cards, snort tubes in a vial right next to her shit, her purse in the bedroom, the whole deal.
Yeah, that was weird that got dropped with all that. Like, had to have said.
Let me read this, and we'll see if maybe.
Yeah, he's blaming her for all the tattling.
Why
is what he's trying to do.
Her charges were dropped initially.
All right.
April Imholt. It's Anderson, by the way. Legally now, I believe it's Anderson. If we could, please. I would rather you didn't call her by my children's last name. That would be nice.
I should have thought of that a few years ago.
Thanks, buddy. You know what? You're right. Matt always had a way of explaining things so I could understand them.
He just
April Imholt's statement to Deputy Pomplin, I thought he was a detective, are inadmissible as they are testimonial and were made after Miss Imholt. Wait, okay. You can't be Miss.
No.
First of all, he spelled it IMHOLT after spelling it IMHOLTE in the pro work guys. she's either Miss Anderson or Mrs. Imholt, one of the two.
Yeah.
Was given a Miranda warning and had invoked her right to remain silent and her right to have a lawyer present at questioning. Yes, right. She said, she invoked her right to remain silent. But like you said earlier, what do you have to do if you invoke your right to remain silent?
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. They're not going to stop you if you start talking.
Oh, no.
Now, the other part of this is the fact that they said she asked for a lawyer to be present during questioning. Okay. Again, I'm a novice, but what if they're not questioning her? What if they're just talking to her and she starts fucking blabbing? Even if you asked for a lawyer, if you start blabbing after that, they're not going to tell you to shut up.
You voluntarily gave over that information.
Right. If they start sweating you and grilling you on the case and everything else, then yeah, you got to fucking leg to stand on there.
Yeah.
But if your fucking side piece just starts fucking blabbing, they're just going to sit back and go ahead, let it out. On May 23rd, exterior to defendant's home,
Aaron should take his
April
own
was
advice.
Mirandized by Deputy
Stop the
Branis.
blabbing.
When asked if she would like to say anything, April told Deputy Branis, "I would like to remain silent until my lawyer's present." Deputy Branis ceased any attempt to question April further. Approximately 4 minutes later, Deputy Branis headed towards the house to retrieve a pair of shoes for April. Deputy Bauman took control of April. Deputy Branis headed back towards defendant's home when he about-faced and told Deputy Pomplin and Deputy Bauman that, quote, "I did Miranda and asked for a lawyer." Despite this affirmative notice that April had invoked her Miranda rights, Deputy Pomplin conducted a custodial interrogation of her to elicit incriminatory statements by telling her side of the story. Defendant has no standing to ask that April's statements be deemed inadmissible in her pending case and does not ask the court for that purpose. Rather, defendant asked the court to declare April's statements made to law enforcement following her invocation of her Miranda rights to be inadmissible in the defendant's case. So he's like, I don't give a fuck about her.
Yeah. So
I don't give a fuck about me.
Everything she said about herself is true, except for the shit that she included me on.
Right.
Yeah.
This includes any video or audio recordings, as well as any notes made by or reports drafted by law enforcement, unless April testifies at trial and is subject to confrontation. Admitting April's statements into evidence at trial, absent her testimony, will violate defendant's right to confrontation. Meaning you can't cross-examine her.
Yeah.
April said something.
Oh, fuck yeah, she did.
April said something. The question now is
April.
What?
April.
What did she say? And now I'm sitting here going, please let the judge keep that part in there. Please let this judge I need to know what my dear darling sweetie, because she was my wife at the time, my dear darling wife said about, now we hated each other's guts at the time, but still, we were still legally married. I want to know because part of me believes that there was still good left in her. Part of me believes that she hadn't gone full-blown Coco side chick.
Or
he's trying to blame her. She may have too.
She's a
but
survivalist.
He definitely did. He started it all.
Could have done that. Could have thrown them under the bus.
Yep.
Absolutely. And it's probably a big reason why she walked out of there with no charges.
Yeah.
She probably walked out of there with no charges because they're like, she gave us a lot of good shit. Like, she gave us a lot of information we can use. Cut her loose, let her go. If they keep that, I'm really interested to hear.
They didn't think that.
What she told them.
Gets decided on Wednesday with Nick's thing.
If that stays, and we'll get to that after the house thing, we'll do the Kayla thing. If he still has his date with Destiny, on the 21st,
what would change? He accepts a deal.
No, it has to do with the Kayla thing. We'll get there. Bone Cold Fleas Austin says, once you invoke your Fifth Amendment right to seek legal counsel, we as law enforcement cannot talk to you. However, if you decide to yap, it can be used in court as long as we don't ask questions.
Yeah.
So if you start yapping, we just can't question you. Okay. Triple N says, women hate silence and feel obligated to fill it with talking. It's their Achilles heel.
Did you hear that, dear?
Now
he's talking shit on women's.
That seems like a loophole that shouldn't exist. Anonalast says April was a chatty Kathy. April's statement was, I'm pregnant. Holy fucking shit, would that be crazy? Maybe she tried to bury Kayla to become the first sister wife. I don't know. All we know is that she got caught dead to rights in that house with her possessions having cocaine on them, and she walked out of there with no charges. So I don't think they let her out of there because she batted her eyelashes at him. She said something. So? Oh, she said something. Madame says, never talk to a cop, as anything you say to a cop can be used against you. That's why I never talk to the state trooper that lives next door to me. I don't think that's what they mean. Nick won't get his deal for another 2.8 years. I mean, that seems like a long time. No, what happened was the investigators didn't ask questions after she invoked her right to remain silent, and she decided it was a good idea to keep talking. I mean, I can see it. And Bone Cold's a cop, so he knows.
Yeah.
But it's one of those deals where she may have been scared, she may have been uncomfortable, and she may have tried to just start talking about shit to get herself out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? All I can say is I really want to know what the fuck she said. I want to know when the chips were down and she had to be her authentic, true self because she was scared fucking shitless. I want to know what she said. That would be bueno. McBuster says April is looking at the trust fund money. She probably blamed Kayla for the cocaine, ketamine, guns, and child testing positive for cocaine. Kick roast beef curtains out of the picture. Kids go too. Jesus Christ, McBuster.
Good one, Buster.
Beware most mandated reporters. What they can and can't do exists only on paper, like a speed limit. Triple N says, I miss the days when Coke made me feel good. I don't even bother anymore because it just makes me paranoid. Numero uno Josh Denny fan.